5. Did you have like a speech in mind to get this rolling, or should we just jump right into it?
Well, let's jump right into it. Let's go for it. I can't think of anything too clever to say, but...
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's like the theme of this podcast.
Oh, aye. Good.
First of all, what would you say objectively is the best Fallout game?
Fallout 2 for me. I know a lot of people...
But not for you, but did you play Fallout 2 first?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have kind of this sentimentality towards it, because I feel the same, but I think the first one is a better game.
Yeah, I think the first one's actually better all around, but I like all the amount of pop culture references in the second one, and that it was kind of just everywhere, really.
I just wanted to make sure that we agree that the first one is the best, because otherwise the rest of this stuff wouldn't even work.
Okay, good.
So basically the first one is the best, and like all of the sequels are just kind of worse.
Yeah.
So the best way to make a better Fallout game would be to make a prequel. So I think someone should make a mod for The Sims, kind of like the pre-war Fallout, where you just the normal stuff before the bombs fell, just with the like retro-futuristic nonsense, and that would be the best Fallout ever.
I agree, because everyone likes The Sims and, you know, mutants and stuff. There wouldn't be any mutants in, but maybe they could sneak them in. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, because people are always complaining, another sequel, whatever. Just make a prequel. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone likes going backwards. Go back all the time.
Exactly, that's why I came back to Duck.
Yes. Oh, is that how you call it in your head? Duck?
Yeah, that's also what I was thinking about, because I kind of pronounce it in Finnish, just Duck.
Duck.
And you're like more of a DAC guy, I guess.
Yeah. All about the abbreviations in Britain, the UK.
How about IRC?
I'll call it IRC. I don't call it ERC.
I call it IRC.
ERC.
That's like what everyone in Finland calls it, IRC.
Oh, yeah.
It's perfect. It got a nice ring to it.
I agree. I never used those other ones that... what's that one with the little flower around it? ICQ, was it?
ICQ, yeah, but that's a bit tough to pronounce.
It is.
But that's kind of like the point, ICQ, isn't it?
Ah, I just got it. That's good.
Yeah, it took you a while. No, that's alright.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's maybe DAC has some sort of a meaning. No.
DAC. I think whatever you call it in your head, that's fine.
Yeah.
What would like... Did you call Night Command Post KCP or just Night Command Post?
Yeah, KCP.
Yeah.
I think for me it's like whatever's pronounceable. Like if it's easier to just make a word out of the letters, then I'll just do that. But KCP, like how does that even work?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I'm looking at the DAC forums again. Just
were you able to get in?
No.
Login?
No, it's not done it. I have to register another account. I have quite a few by now.
Alright. I never had any alts, I think. Have you had many?
I think there might have been a few now and then.
I've been doing these interviews and I've been reading through a lot of the old posts on the forums. And I came across John Matrix. Was that you?
That was Matrix, yep. That was another time I forgot my password. And I think I just thought, I'll go in as Matrix. Yeah, that was good. Quite like to type in all caps. I think that'll take off in the future.
Yeah.
All the time.
Do you think you'll be able to remember your old password at some point?
I hope so, because it's a lot of heritage behind that.
Yeah. A lot of post count.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing.
How many did I post? There was once upon a time was like 2 or 3 posts a day, but I'm guessing after 20 years it reduces a bit. Here we go. But I still got a 1.14 posts per day, so that's not too bad.
Where can you see that?
In the profile. Can I send links across?
Yeah, I'm gonna log on to DAC. Time to introduce our soundboard. I'll find my profile. I've been on the forum for like, 20 years?
And still finding features.
Yeah, it's a gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
0.56 points per day, but I was gone for like half of this time anyway.
Yeah, I started having a social life and things like that, really.
But this is gonna sound really weird, but like I was interviewing Pooper Scooper and just chatting with him for a bit through the private messages, and I got really sentimental, and I kind of felt that I wish I'd spent more time on IRC and duck and cover instead of like doing real life stuff. It was weird. I was really deep because I honestly I spent like a week just day and night reading the forums, and I get a little bit of obsessive like that sometimes.
Yeah.
And I was really living in the past basically, and felt like I've been wasting my life. That's funny.
It's really good because for me it was like a lot of my formative years, but I think for a lot of people that's not really recorded. Whilst all of this, it's like there's a lot of posts, and somewhere I have the old IRC logs knocking about somewhere.
Yeah.
In a folder called the Pleasure Hose, but I need to find it. How did that come about? That Pleasure Hose.
That's the first time I'm hearing. Well, I mentioned it in your emails, but you say a lot of interesting stuff in them, so.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's always hard, like, what's real, what's not, but we try.
Yeah. I went through some chat logs I stumbled upon, just like the Rex stuff.
Yep.
But they're pretty boring to read. For the most part.
The private channel.
Oh, you have those?
Oh, somewhere. I'm not sure. I used to think, in the future I might want to look at this one day, but it's come to that day and I've lost it. But I do have it somewhere. Everything's somewhere.
I think it's kind of the same, like I have 5,000 photos on my phone. I'm never gonna look at them, but it's good to have them.
Yeah, definitely. I always think I'm gonna start losing my mind one day and stuff, so a lot of this, then I'll drag it out and help me remember things, because my memory's not good.
Yeah, I'm the same. I can rewatch movies every 2 years or so, because it's brand new experience to me.
Oh yeah, I used to do it on purpose. Like, right, I know this is going to be a good film, so I'll get drunk and I won't remember it, and I can enjoy it again.
Right.
But yeah, it's just tricky. Very tricky nowadays. And I feel like it was all the drinking really that ruined my brain anyway, or partly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, for me, I think like it's hard to place, but I can't remember anything from my childhood. For example, like I started drinking pretty early as well, but pre that period, I can't remember stuff anyway.
No.
I don't know. More room for new stuff.
Yeah, that's the way.
My ex-girlfriend used to joke about going on a date with me. It was always kind of felt like the first date, because I wouldn't remember like the stuff we've been going through.
Like that Adam Sandler film, 50 First Dates.
Yeah, a 40-year-old virgin, what have you.
That's the one.
Yeah, I think we should introduce it. This is, I guess, a duck and cover exclusive. It can be inclusive, I don't care, but Mama's Land, and yeah.
This is for Mama's Gang. This is for the 4 people who still read Duck and Cover.
Yeah. And none of them are in Mama's Gang anyway, so they're not gonna listen. It's cool. It's fun. All-time fun.
It is.
Being back on the forums has been really cool. Like, when I interviewed you talked about like the anonymity of the old days of the internet, and some people mentioned the community.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you read Reddit, it's just a billion random people that you're never gonna encounter again.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. It's so different from anything like these days.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't want to be stuck in some nostalgia loop, but it's just fun, like recognizing usernames, things like that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm still looking at the forum at the side, and there's like names like Hammer.
Yeah.
All the old guys. MR Snake or Mr. Snake, depending.
Did you call him Mr. Snake in your head or Amar Snake?
I think MR Snake, because I feel like they're quite a large sort of European group on DAC. So I was, if in doubt, go for the more Slavic pronunciation.
Yeah, I always wanted Mr. Snake just because he was, just a gentleman, like a scholar and a poet.
Ah. How did you pronounce... I'll send it over. How do you pronounce that name?
Aptyp.
Aptyp.
But it's like actually it's like the Russian alphabet, so it's Arthur.
Ah.
So the P is R and the Y is U, so I think it spells out Arthur.
Well, this is kind of groundbreaking stuff for me.
Yeah, worth a podcast at least.
Definitely. Who else was in Mama's gang? It was Pooper, Zed.
Pooper, yeah. Zed is actually some kind of a boss man at the RPG Codex. He's an administrator or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Trader, maybe. I don't know. What should be done about him? Nikolai.
Yeah.
Atoga.
Definitely a Toga.
I sent him an interview as well. Haven't heard back from him yet, but I'm really looking forward to it.
I think Mr. Tea Time, he should be in, I think.
Definitely, yeah. Smiley.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, who else? Prosper. Definitely
him.
He's the king of the alts here. Brian R, Brian B, Cakester, Pizza Hut lover. There's probably a lot of I don't even know. The list goes on.
Yeah, all of that was good. I always enjoyed that. And then there was ones like Blog, 4-2.
Yeah. They were pretty similar. I think they would have gotten along pretty well, or not. I don't know. I skipped most of their posts. I didn't understand any of it.
A lot of it. Once upon a time, it was just thousands a day, wasn't it? Well, it seemed like there were thousands a day, plus the IRC bit. So, you could sit there all day and play on DAC, and we did. It were good.
Yeah, and doesn't work that way now. I was saying, like, I was really deep into the research, and back in the day, did you sit on the computer and refresh the page just to see if anyone's replied?
I think I was doing that. Yeah, oh yeah.
So I was doing that, but then there's like 3 people that logged in like every once a week or something, so it wasn't that good.
Well, at the time of recording, it says there's 153 users on the DAC forums.
Yeah, and the threads get a lot of views, but like who's viewing them? The bots? Because they can post. I guess they're like just lurking now.
Yeah. Gathering data, making a better model, artificial intelligence sort of thing.
I'm just gonna mention this and cut it out, but if we need to take breaks or anything, I can do all of the post-processing stuff, or
oh yeah,
what do you call it?
Good.
I'm not gonna cut this out anyway, but
yeah, that's good. I have diarrhea today, which I don't mind, but I'm not sure what the source of it was. So now I'm like, was it that leftovers? Was it this other thing? So I'm in a bit of a state of flux, really. But I should be okay. So far, so good. No issues just yet.
So before we started this podcast, I mentioned to you that I've been writing down these talking points.
Yes.
Just to keep the conversation flowing.
Yeah.
And I have no idea like what any of this means. So one of these is death, dying, feeling alive. What do you think about that?
Death dying.
And on death, I think it's separate. Like the whole concept of death, dying,
Oh yeah.
and feeling alive. Actually, now that I'm thinking, it's like the closer we get to death, the more alive we feel. I think that was my thought at the time.
Yeah, definitely. How would you know one without the other?
Yeah, I've thought about death ever since I was a kid, quite a bit. Not like in a sad suicidal way, but just like the concept of it's intriguing. And I read this book. Is this Finnish dead guy who mentioned he never thought about death until he was 50, and after that he's been thinking about it constantly. And that was interesting because I've been thinking about death since I was like 10 or whatever.
I'm quite similar, I think, because like when I was little, there used to be like quite a few child murders in England, and at the time I was thinking, what would it be like to be murdered? And I thought, well, it wouldn't be that bad, you know. I'm a kid.
Mm.
In theory, this could be the best time to die because it just gets downhill from here. But yeah, I'm quite not I wouldn't say a morbid person, but I think about death a bit. Sometimes I can look in the mirror and like see aging, and like just imagining face like a dead face kind of thing, or your face hanging off your skull or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid of it. It's just like going to sleep, isn't it? Some people really have a bee in the bonnet though about dying, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's because it's such a taboo, and there's not a whole lot of discussion about it, and people just don't think about it. They kind of avoid it. But for me, it's like one of the two most significant events in your life.
Yeah.
The birth and the death, you know. So I'm here along for the ride, but you know, when my time comes, I hope I'm fine with it. And at least theoretically, I'm okay with it right now.
Yeah. Like, as long as I'm not being tortured to death or something, I think it should be okay. I don't want my last moments to be like, you know, worried about it. I just want to be quite relaxed about it, you know, quite chilled down.
Sure.
Yeah. Don't let them see you cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I quite like it. Just I'm not like death, but like just the general passing of time. Because I first started going on DAC when I was like 9 or 10, and a lot of time has passed. It feels like a lot of time has passed anyway, because I'm a man now. I'm a fully grown adult man, and back then I was just a wee boy.
Yeah, you were really young when you joined DAC.
Oh yeah, I was probably the youngest by a bit. Nowadays it wouldn't even be legal.
Yeah, and that's like one of the things I like, the olden days of the internet. Like you could be a kid and have a discussion with grown-up people, and it didn't matter.
Yeah, or into it, especially because a lot of these people were getting owned by like a 12-year-old boy. Well, it's funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I quite liked it. And I think it definitely had an impact on me. I'm not sure if it's because I went out to seek it, or it's just like stuff I saw. But I think definitely talking about culture and all that kind of thing with you know, adults from a really wide variety of backgrounds, because it was much different back then, I think, because everyone was kind of making their own thing up. Whilst nowadays it's all like just copied and pasted around the sites and stuff. I know we don't want it to become too nostalgic and looking back a lot, but I imagine just making a podcast for DAC, it will end up being a little bit that way anyway.
It's inevitable. We can go like back and forth with that stuff.
Yeah.
That kind of got me thinking about, I think, subcultures as a whole are kind of dying. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone had their own thing back then, and now it's... I think it's nice that people are just like into a whole lot of different stuff, but it's so weird to grasp.
Yeah, I feel like the young people, I don't hang out with teenagers or old, but when I'm earwigging, I mean listening in, they all seem quite sound now, but there's no like big difference like, oh, these are the sporty guys and these are the goth guys or whatever. They're just all doing their own thing, which is good. But I also quite like the olden days where you would have, it would be a bit more like an American film where you would have the jocks and the dweebs and the dorks. And I were definitely one of the dorks.
Sure. I mean, we were talking about DAC and like smaller internet communities. It applies to like the society as a whole as well.
Oh, aye. Well, I remember like nobody I knew had been on the internet when I was posting on DAC in my wee town. Not that I went round asking people, do you post on Duck and Cover? But I remember having to explain to my brother what LOL means, what it stands for. But nowadays, they're all on it, aren't they? On the phones, constantly. You won't even bat an eyelid.
Yeah.
So it's good, maybe. Or is it, though? I think the internet's a little bit too... It has a strange impact on people's brains. I feel like we're used to it. But if you're like 50 years old and you're going into internet for the first time, you just, it drives you crazy.
Sure. I mean, I think the kids these days are much smarter, and like things as a whole are going to a better direction all in all. But the whole social media thing, it's so predatory. The way big companies don't just like use us as the products.
Yeah.
And people base their whole self-worth on stuff like that. And if you say like a 14-year-old girl or whatever, I think it can be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm so glad I went to high school when I did. Just because if people have camera phones and shit now in high school, I feel like your life could be over before you even started. If you end up as a meme or some shit. So,
yeah.
Terrible.
Have you ever wondered what, like, I don't know how to word this, but like if someone doxed you or whatever it's called, and people realized who you are, that you're Megatron, and there's some stuff, you like Space Cat and all of that.
Yeah, I do wonder about that now and then, because when I saw that the forums were dying and like they ran out of funding, I was like, I'm finally free.
Right.
But I think if it ever comes back to it, well, you know, I was just a wee boy, so, you know, that's okay.
That was the point I was making in one of my posts, is that it was a brand new platform and we were just a bunch of kids, and, you know, if someone's gonna judge people based on their inability to kind of realize the future consequences of like spamming top girl to every registered member, then that's kind of on them as well, you know.
Definitely. And I feel like with a lot of this, when people arguing on the internet, you have to argue with somebody, try and convince them to join your side or whatever. So if they are on your side, you can't also hold them to account for all the shit they used to do. Because otherwise, what's the point? What's the point in arguing then if you can't forgive? So I haven't like gone back and read my post to see. I wonder what I was saying, but you know, stuff like slurs,
Yeah,
stuff like that. Well, if I ever do get reverse doxed, I apologise for everything.
yeah. I mean, I went like this was probably like 10 years ago. I went through a bunch of my oldest posts and edited out the worst bits. So I didn't do a thorough job, but I think it was enough. If someone's willing to read through like 4,000 of my posts just to get angry at me, then, you know, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sure there's stuff I've done a lot more recently that's probably just as shit.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Like, just a lot. I have good intentions, but just now and then I say dumb shit. But you know, I'm trying. We're all trying. But yeah, if somebody does want to go back and read over thousands of my posts, then well, have fun. Okay.
Sure. The toughest bit about that is the context. and like a lot of like the silly stuff we were saying, it was based on some stuff that we were talking about on IRC or whatever, and if it was also like we were part of this community, so we knew each other and we knew who were being silly and who were not.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel like well, there was all like the cool guys, and then the ones that were a bit more suspect. But like I remember arguing like for gun control and stuff like that I've changed my mind on since. Just it's all different, isn't it? It's all different nowadays.
Yeah.
And back then, I think a lot of people were a lot more libertarian on the internet rather than anything else. It seemed like everyone was quite focused on that sort of political dynamic, I think. In sort of like in 2004, 2007, it was a very different world, really, especially the stuff you get through the internet.
Yeah.
But, so I was like scanning through old forum posts just to kind of see, what's it all about, actually, looking back. Freedom of speech on DAC, for instance. Oh, yeah, I wonder what happened to this Avengers 69 IE.
I think Psycho Sniper died. I don't know if it's true, but everyone's saying that. But then everyone say that Saint Proverbius died. How do you pronounce it? Proverbius?
Yeah, that's how I'd say it, yeah.
But I interviewed him like 2 weeks ago, so I guess he didn't die.
I'd heard that Spasmo had died.
Yeah, that's a real bummer. I didn't even realize it. I just was reading through the old interviews that Pooper did, and it sucked. Like I found out about it 10 years after, but it still sucks.
Yeah, definitely. If he is really dead and he hasn't just disappeared. Yeah, he was a good one.
But that's saying something. Like, I consider a lot of the guys on the forums my friends. Thinking about it, like I'm from a pretty small town. I guess you are as well.
Yeah.
So just talking with interesting people that are more like me than my real life friends, because beggars can't be choosers, right? I just hung out with like whoever, so it was a big deal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I think when I didn't cry, but when I found out Spasmo died, I was like, it hurt me. Like, just miss the guy. Yeah, I mean, if others died, I'd be a bit more okay. But I think when talked to somebody over years and years, especially because quite a few were in the army or the armed forces in some way, like I think the Guardian was, Aneurysm, there was another guy.
Carib, do you remember Carib?
Yes.
Yeah,
quite a few. I think I think Fallout attracted certain kinds of personality types, but yeah. Nice mix.
Yeah, it was half of the posters were these like military guys super into killing people or whatever they're into, and the rest were into just doing drugs and doing weird stuff. So
yeah,
that was cool.
A good mix of like soldiers and artists, really.
Yeah,
and then just other like your Raymondos of the world. Not quite a thing.
I also went through this phase of using the Wayback Machine, just find old stuff, and found like Raymondo's old websites for his like Tactics Clan.
Yep.
And like a bunch of stuff, like his diary. It wasn't super personal, but just his personality, man.
Oh yeah.
Like he had a post about he calculated like how much amount of time he will have to spend on this project, and it was just like maths for like 5 paragraphs, so that he just came to the conclusion that I'm gonna have to spend 3.5 hours excluding lunch so I can finish this project by the end of the week. That's classic Ray.
Oh yeah, I hope he managed to just carry on with it somehow. And I bet half these cunts probably have like jobs in the games industry now anyway, and all that. Even I worked in the games industry for a bit. I think I met somebody who worked in the marketing for Stalker way back when. So when I was talking to him, I was also thinking, I bet like there was a week where we did that trailer, and it just made your life a bit difficult, really.
Right.
It's good to have a bit of crossover like that.
Yeah, actually, I worked in the games industry for a bit as well. I did QA, like localization QA, so just making sure that the text stays within the boxes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the company I was working at, it was around the time that Fallout 3 was coming out, and the company was testing that. I didn't work on it, but I saw that like the like babies crawling around the vault, stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
At that point, I knew it's gonna suck, so I didn't have any high expectations. But yeah, overlap.
It's funny. RPG Codex has taken off. I'm guessing it's reasonably well known within the niche of the games industry. I did an interview for that Disco Elysium game in real life, and that was linked on the Codex.
That's really cool.
Nice little crossover. I was having a little giggle to myself in the office.
I love that game.
Oh yeah, that's one of the best games I've played for
I mean,
quite a while.
When I played it, I thought it's the best game I've played since Fallout 2 or whatever.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, for me, like playing it, as well as the actual game, I also had this kind of flood of memories and just feeling really for that kind of isometric exploration, conversation sort of game. I really liked it.
It's just like a talking simulator, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's not much to it, but it's really well written and a lot of good memories.
Yeah, funny. Yeah, I liked all the stuff about drugs and drinking it, particularly. Really spoke to my kind of my journey, my life journey. But
sure.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was funny. I'm still looking through old posters, and On the Bounce came up, the dad of DAC. Do you remember On the Bounce?
I remember him. I remember the name, but was it like, what do you mean, dad?
It was just quite serious, I felt. But, not. It could have a bit of a laugh, but, I don't think it'd ever be posting emojis or anything like that. Smileys.
Sure. But let's take a trip down the memory lane again for a bit. You were back on the GameSpy forums, and like I talked with Stainless, and he was saying like it was pretty mild mannered.
Yeah.
In comparison to the when the site moved to the new domain, and I was part of Vault13.net. Do you remember this site?
I do. Yeah, that was my preferred color choice on DAC. I always had it in Vault 13 green, which they took off a few years ago.
Black and green.
Yes, that was the best way to see it. I think.
Those forums had a bit of like the similar vibe actually than the new, I'm making air quotes, new Duck and Cover. And I think part of it was because it was pretty laid back, and I think Killian was admin there back already. So I think that might have affected the direction of the new DAC. I don't know.
Did Killian change his username to Kill Zig? Is that the same person?
Yeah.
I got the impression, in my memory, he worked in the games industry too, as some sort of guy. I don't know. I think a lot of them had maybe like avatars or sort of the personality where they're quite a brash, kind of extreme personality, cool guy. But I imagine also a lot of them were maybe slightly round boys who just kind of sat quietly and posted on DAC at work, which is good. I'm into it.
Yeah, I mean, I can admit it was also like an outlet for me. Not obviously like for my creative side, if you can call Toxic Waste Boy creative, but I also like just, I was pretty mild-mannered as a kid because I grew up in a pretty small town, and you really stood up like a sore thumb if if you were different.
Yeah.
So I mostly kept to myself, and was I like more myself on the forums actually than in real life?
Yeah. I were thinking about this as well recently. Like, was I kind of the way I wanted to be, or was on the forums, and then that ended up being who I am in real life, or vice versa, or whichever. But I do feel I could more honestly be myself on the forums, really. Take the piss out, this and that. Just having a laugh, really.
When thinking about just personality in general, I didn't think it makes a huge difference. Like, if you're pretending to be someone or something on the internet, and that's just part of your like personality.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Some people just are chameleons, or
Yeah.
I think that's a lot better and healthier than maybe people being told over and over again that was kind of positivity and live, laugh, love, and you'll be this certain kind of human in the 21st century that's only so optimistic. While I think if you maybe scrape away a bit, everyone's a bit strange. So I always trust people who are a bit more obviously strange.
Yeah, I think most people are holding back quite a bit, and like the older I get, the more I feel like myself. That makes any sense. I just don't care anymore. But I feel like a lot of people are really reserved.
Yeah.
And kind of afraid to embrace the other side of the coin, so to speak.
Yeah, it's funny, like especially like looking back to I was a teenager, younger, like a lot of the kind of brash, big personalities, like the ones I've kind of kept in touch with a bit, well, friends on Facebook. They're all sort of they work in sales or insurance now, kind of thing. Not there's anything wrong with that, but they're a lot different now. Whilst other people who are maybe a bit more quieter, they've ended up getting just seems to have more interesting lives, really. I'm not saying like introverts or extroverts are generally better, but I think being introverted, you have a bit more time to maybe think about who you are and what that means, really, rather than just kind of going out there giving people what you think they want.
Yeah, exactly. Funny thing is, just as kind of a side note, but we have this Duck and Cover Discord channel now. Just a quick plug, I guess. But like Caslak has joined in, and it's funny because I think he's one of the most authentic people that I know. Cause he looks and feels, and he was showing us pictures of his house, and I knew exactly how it would look like just because he's such a Caslak,
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I admire him.
Oh yeah, I always thought he was cool. Even though now and then I might not have, maybe that's not what I'd do. But I could appreciate that he was real. And I thought at the time it was brave of him to put his sanitarium stuff out.
There we go.
Great. What did Cashlook play? I'm just going through. I'm leaning out the window having a cigarette, so my audio might be a bit shit. Did Cashlook play the drums in Sanitarium?
No, that was Simo.
Simo, of course.
Simo was singer on the first demo, and I don't know if Caslak is like even if they recorded anything with him singing. So actually, as far as Duck and Cover goes, he pretty much wasn't even in the band,
Yeah, more of the manager.
Yeah. Like he was all show, leather pants and all of that, promo shoots.
Yeah, black and white photos, full length. It's what
you
need.
Wish we had that stuff still. That's one of the things I miss about Duck and Cover, not having pictures of him in leather pants.
There was a thread on the Wasteland where I think it was Nikolai had gathered everything up And that was on your website. I'm not sure if that's still around, but I know there's an online archive somewhere.
What website?
What was it called? I think it was Nikolai. It's either Nikolai or Zed who posted it. This is a few years back now. But it was in the Wasteland forum. And there's tons of stuff in there. Like loads of old screenshots, photos, bits of audio, everything.
Really?
But I can't remember it now.
I've been trying to dig up some good stuff, and it's hard to find. But I've posted a thread on the Wasteland that I've been just kind of collecting the stuff that I like and enjoy looking back. And Hyacinth has another library thread. I think it's in general discussion maybe, or some whatever, another forum. But there's a lot of good stuff as well, like some Norway 67, all of that, and some kind of was it like a Comic Con or something that some of the guys went to, like a video.
Yeah. I remember there was a video of that. I remember watching it and thinking, this is what it's like in real life. If we ever met up in real life, this is what it'd be like.
Yeah, kind of made me happy that we didn't meet 10 years ago.
Yeah, I remember at the time it was just, I was in a funny place.
Yeah. Right now it would be different. It would be fun, I think. Back then there was pretty big chance it would have been awkward.
Yeah.
Because I was pretty awkward mostly. I still am, but I'm a bit more outspoken and sociable, I guess.
Good. Yeah, me too, I think. I think back then I used to drink a lot more. I kind of relied on that to be... Because when you're drunk, you think you're really social and good. Well, I am. But actually, maybe not. So I can imagine, maybe if we had met 10 years ago, it'd probably just been very drunk and awkward.
Yeah, getting drunk and talking about some forum posts and long silent pauses and then talking about the forums again.
Yeah, which is what we're doing now without the awkward silences, so that's good.
Yeah, exactly, and we're semi-sober for now.
Yeah, more or less.
Getting there, but I have work in the morning. Well, not morning. It's 1 p.m., but that's morning for me.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not gonna get super drunk, just the appropriate amount of drunkenness.
That's good. I was thinking the only time I re-listen to podcasts is when I'm getting a tattoo. So I got one just before Christmas of a bat for the coronavirus year. It's on my leg.
Oh, yeah, I saw the picture, yeah.
Yeah. I've got quite a few on my leg now. I thought I'd start with the legs and work my way up. But also, I'm not really the kind of person who gets their body out a lot, funnily enough. So nobody sees them except my girlfriend.
Sure, I mean, for those of you who don't know, I tattoo for a living now these days, and I don't have tattoos from my elbows down.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually, it's funny, when I'm wearing pants and a t-shirt, I don't really look tattooed, even though I am pretty heavily tattooed, and I've had some customers actually ask me if I have any tattoos myself.
Well, you do want to know, I think, before you get a tattoo, does this person know what it's like? Sure.
But it's just so funny, I'm pretty heavily covered everywhere else but forearms and neck and hands. So if you want to look tough, just do those bits and be done with it. Yeah, I agree. Especially because sometimes it hurts a little bit. Not too much, but it can. I hate it these days. I think the more you do it, the excitement wears off really quickly, and then you just want it to be done with it. Yeah, especially if it's got loads of shading or colour. Yeah, I mean, tattooers are the biggest pussies when it comes to getting tattooed, honestly. It's from people I've talked to, and this is just my bit, but I think women can deal with it a bit better than men. I think from what I've heard, men can kind of start fainting and crying, whilst a woman just kind of sit there and take it. Obviously, it depends on the person, but on average, women deal with it better. I think it's, and this is just my theory, but that they have to give birth and stuff, so I think they're built for taking a lot of pain for a long time.
Yeah, not that I'm advocating that, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Speaking of women on DAC, there weren't that many, were there?
Insane Lark, Tingle Tangle.
Jennifer?
That's about it, is it? Jennifer, did he post? I just remember him from the Fallout channel.
I thought Jennifer was a lass, wheelchair, hence wheelchair wears.
Yeah, I was wondering where that came from. Was it him, her, or sorry, I tend to get these mixed, like him and her.
Yes.
Finnish language doesn't have these pronouns. It's basically they every time, which is pretty nice. Yeah, it's nice, but when I'm talking, I tend to get them mixed up quite a lot. So sorry, Jen. I don't know. Maybe she was a guy. You'll never know.
You do never know, really. But
Yeah.
I felt there was a few about, and it was good. A little bit of diversity back in the day.
Yeah, it was pretty rare back then. It was a proper boys' club, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just like, I'm looking for the forums. I'm just like looking at all the titles of threads, really, rather than having a look at things. But I do know that when I've clicked on a few threads, it's a bit like, sheesh. But I do like it though, and also I just like it's chronological, because nowadays when you read most things, it's always like that.
Oh yeah, like the most popular and stuff like that.
Yeah, and up threads, and they have like tokens and shit you can share.
Have you visited RPG Codex in a while?
I haven't visited it in 10 years.
I logged in just to get in touch with Saint Proverbius, and they got all of that stuff. It's pretty close to Reddit. Like the forum structure is the same, but there's all kinds of like, I got fist bumped and stuff the moment I logged in. Like, I just don't get it.
No, I'm all for like talking about games, but don't gamify it as well.
Yeah.
I do need a piss, but I'll be back after that. I'll be back in half a minute. We'll see. I'm going to time myself. Right. I was going to mute myself because now and then I've not muted myself on stuff, and you can hear me piss from like another room, so I'm just going to do that.
I'm going to edit in post. Good.
Edit that as the start, and loads of echo. And
oh yeah, we're actually recording in front of a live audience. That's the audience.
Good. Of one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. BRB. I'm back. I hope I can find that old CD anyway. It was my DAC CD. So it had all the pictures on, sold that demo, Viet Cong demo, all the old stuff. Yeah,
I remember the old days of Viet Cong 1.6. Good times. Did we play any other games with Mama's Gang?
I don't think so. There was the Stalker beta.
I don't think I played that one.
It wasn't good. I think I only remember really sold that in Viet Cong. Was it called Viet Cong or Vietnam?
Like two guys with terrible memory.
Yeah. Like, I remember some stuff clear, like, oh yeah, that was funny. But then I actually think a bit more deeply, and I can't remember any detail. But,
yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm sure it's a bit like, you open one door and keep opening more and more. I think I'm going to have to start doing a little bit of research myself. Having looked back, see who my favourite top 5 posters were, all that kind of thing.
For sure. I mean, when I logged in, I don't even remember how I kind of thought of DAC, but I just went to see if the site even existed anymore. I was pretty surprised to see that it did. And I didn't even know where my avatar came from. Like it's classic Prosper stuff, but I had no recollection whatsoever. So just reading the stuff, it's been really nice remembering the days of my youth, I guess.
Yeah, I've because I went kind of reading it. I think in 2016. I think I was like, I wonder if DAC is still about that. But I lost my account, so I was posted as Helen for quite a while.
I think I was gone at that point. I just saw the username, but didn't make the connection.
I thought, oh yeah, that's why they started changing the avatar sizes. So many great additions to the forums over the years. I'm really glad. Like, I will say, like, good on the admins for keeping it going, especially after it's been like fucking abandoned for best part of a decade, really. So it's good. I'm glad, really.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, no one's been around for 10 years or whatever. I think King of Creation was around for the longest, but I don't know when he left. So basically, it's just been Talontain keeping the whole thing going. So kudos to him for that. It's like it means a lot to me. Actually, there was this fundraising, and I'm pretty broke, but I sent like 100 euros his way because he's been running keeping the site up for who knows how long, even though no one's even posting there.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm looking back for your recent interviews, and it's getting traction. People like the content, starting to bring people back.
I think so, yeah. I'm pretty optimistic about the future of DAC in that sense. Obviously, it's not gonna be like the old days, but if there's gonna be some activity, people like I think I've been kind of overdoing it, but just posting a bit too much, but just kind of
it's good
doing this fun kind of things, just bringing old members back, just see what's up, and hanging out with friends basically.
Yeah, definitely. Like, if they're not about now, then fair dues. Like, but I think the ones that do still return, it's good. It's good. It's still going. Like, there's the most active thread for ages was that Wall of Missing Members one, and that's funny to read up on over the years too. Like, I got married now and got like loads of kids, and regret it kind of thing. But good on them.
Yeah, and the surprising bit was I didn't really know how to get in touch with anyone. So I just sent them a private message on back and cover.
Yeah.
I never thought it would work, but for some reason people have linked their email address to their current address, I guess. And yeah, it worked. I think there's a couple of people I didn't reach, like Nikolai and Zed, but other than that, everyone replied.
Yeah, it's quite impressive, I'd say, really, over the years. Like, it'd be good to talk to some old heads, like your Tolgas, your Aneurysms, Vasica. Even people I might not necessarily, not saying Vasica, but even people I might not necessarily liked at the time that much. Civilized, I guess it's like a bit like high school reunion kind of thing. It's just that people don't have those nowadays because of like Facebook and shit. But in terms of online stuff like this, it's good actually.
Actually, what kind of started the whole thing was because I've been every 5 years I've been thinking about the game Killa. You remember that one? By Winston Henry.
Yes.
And it was nowhere to be found. And what I actually did, maybe 2 months ago, I I went to the Facebook and Instagram and sent just random people called Winston Henry messages asking, did you make Killa? Maybe 50 people. and didn't hear back from any of them. But then I'll just send him a PM on the forums, and he replied.
No,
So
bad.
I was pretty surprised. And actually, I did an interview with him, but he's probably busy doing Killa 2 or something because he
I bet.
hasn't replied yet.
And those AK-47 mods. Oh, he sent me a floppy disk about 6 years ago. I don't know if you remember.
What?
He sent me a floppy disk about 6 years ago.
Who?
You.
What?
But I didn't have a floppy drive on my computer, so I've never been able to look at it. But I always thought, maybe that's killer.
I have no recollection. I sent you a floppy disk.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
it is. I do have it. It's probably right next to the AC CD. But I'm going to dig it out.
Do you have a floppy drive laying about?
No, I'd have to get some like 50 quid USB fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
But it'd be worth it because I'm always been curious. Like I got a few mates who are into making music, and now and then they send me a cassette. I'm like, I can't fucking listen to this. But I would like to experience it.
I'm pretty curious about what's on there because I have no idea.
Oh yeah, some good old. I'm trying to think of old stuff they used to cherish, like Jimmy Tenor.
Who?
Is that how you pronounce him? Oh, good. Or not
Jimmy.
Tenor. It's like a saxophonist.
Oh yeah, that's a Finnish guy. Yeah.
Yeah. He was cool, and there were loads of.
I thought you were talking about some DAC member. Maybe he was, but I don't think so.
Well, very possibly.
Yeah.
Loads of old music, loads of trip hop and stuff. I got into Gabba through Aneurysm, I think.
Yeah.
And that's that left an impression. We also seen loads of punk stuff back in the day. I quite like sort of was it 6 Foot Ditch? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's ridiculous band. It's funny stuff.
Oh yeah, I always I was of two minds at sort of liking some stuff semi-ironically, but also liking it genuinely, and I end up just liking it genuinely. I don't have any what do they call them, like guilty pleasures or anything now. I like what I like. So
Exactly.
yeah, I like all that stuff. It's good.
It's funny. The 6 Foot Ditch actually played a show in Finland maybe a few years back, and like they haven't. I don't think they've been active in years. I didn't go. But I heard it sucked. It was really bad.
Stomp, left, stomp, right. Fucking great.
Good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Okay, should we wrap this one up and
move on to the next episode?
Yeah. That's a wrap.
That is a wrap. Hey.
All right.
All right.
See you next time.
See you next time.